So previous to being here in Wilmington, I was in Colorado at a church, a downtown church in Colorado, and I loved it. I was a associate pastor working with families, and I really saw that my next step, most likely, was to be a lead pastor of an established church and maybe help turn that church around. But really through some prayer and talking to a lot of people, that God was calling me to do something that I said I would never do. You know, I remember thinking like I never really wanted to be a Christian, and then I never wanted to work in a church, and then for sure didn't want to go to seminary, and then all these things, and I didn't want to be ordained, and all these things I've said to God I just will never do have all come true. And one I was pretty clear about was saying I'll never be a church planter. That's what those people do, but not me. So here I am planting a church in Wilmington, North Carolina. And actually that's the way I've related with God, of me being stubborn and God and his humor of breaking down that stubbornness and seeing that actually was what God called me to do. And so I think the way I've been wired, the way I love people, the way I see the church lends itself to plant a church, to be relational, to be a little bit entrepreneurial too. I love stacking chairs and preaching God's word, and doing a little bit of everything makes me come alive. And so I just remember thinking, I'll never do this. And I remember saying the other never was when we left Wilmington, North Carolina 9 years ago. I said, I'll never move back to that place. And I looked at my wife, and as we pulled out of this town, I said, hey, babe, we're not moving back here. We're done. This was a great part of the journey. That was chapter 1, close, chapter 2, and we go on. And here we are coming back to another I never. But the relationships we built while we were here are those that I think God has been speaking through them as well about this new adventure, this holy adventure of starting a church here. And so it's actually exciting, and a little bit of eating some humble pie of, I'm planting a church, and friends would say, didn't you say you'd never do that? And yeah, I did. Yeah. And here I am, planting a church with friends, and it feels right.